From luxury suites to lockdown, Lil Durk's life has taken a dramatic turn over the past 5 months. The rapper is currently being held at MDC Los Angeles, waiting for his day in court on serious federal charges. Authorities say Durk is tied to an alleged plot involving payment for harm against a rival. And if the accusations hold up, he could be facing a lengthy sentence with no early release. But as the case unfolds, fans are wondering, what's life really like for the OTF leader behind bars? Just months ago, Lil Durk was living the dream. $1 million homes, luxury rides, private jets, and a chart-topping career. But everything changed in an instant. These days, instead of waking up to ocean views and high thread count linens, he's opening his eyes to the hard, fluorescent-lit walls of the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles. Durk, real name Durk Derek Banks, was taken into custody on October 24th, initially held at the Federal Detention Center in Miami. This wasn't just a typical legal issue. The federal government brought forward a serious superseding indictment, claiming Durk was involved in a plan that ended in violence back in August 2022. That incident involved the loss of Quando Rondo's cousin, and prosecutors believe it was no coincidence. On top of that, Durk faces allegations of conspiracy, unlawful possession of firearms, and coordinating harmful acts. His legal team tried to secure his release with a $3 million bond proposal, but the court wasn't convinced and denied bail, labeling him a potential risk. That decision kept Durk behind bars as he waits for trial. On November 13th, he was quietly transferred to MDC Los Angeles, where he now shares a unit with several of his close OTF associates. Kayvon Cuss Grant, DeAndre Dady Wilson, Keith Flacca Jones, and Asa Boogie Houston, all facing similar charges. Once they shared the spotlight, now they share the confines of a federal detention center, with their futures uncertain. Anyone thinking 1650 is less intense than Miami might want to think again. Though the facility looks modern and lacks the typical old-school cell blocks with iron bars, it's still a high-stress environment. Built in 1988, MDC was designed for individuals awaiting trial, not long-term sentences, but with constant overcrowding and limited staff, it's become a high-pressure zone. Unlike state prisons where people are separated based on their background or risk level, MDC throws everyone together. Inside those walls are individuals with serious records, from major criminal cases to known affiliates of organized groups. Put all that energy under one roof, and you've got a place where tensions are always close to the surface. Disagreements can happen in an instant, and there's no telling when things might escalate. There's no such thing as celebrity treatment behind those walls. Lil Durk may be one of the most recognized names in music, but inside MDC, he's just another inmate. And to some, that makes him a target. Adding to the risks are reports of unauthorized items being smuggled in. Multiple staff members have been charged with sneaking in prohibited goods like substances, phones, and other contraband in exchange for money. This kind of corruption allows organized activity within the facility to continue unchecked, increasing the danger for high-profile inmates like Durk, who already stands out due to his music career and reported connections. One wrong step, one misunderstanding, and he could find himself in a difficult position. It's also uncertain how much direct contact Durk has with the other people involved in the case. In federal lockups, it's common for individuals to be separated if officials believe they might try to influence each other's statements. Any suspicion of trying to impact another person's testimony could lead to even stricter conditions for Durk. Adding to the complications, Durk has already been flagged by prison staff for rule violations. Court records show he was caught making unauthorized three-way phone calls, something the facility strictly prohibits. Prosecutors used this as an example in court, arguing that Durk's inability to follow jail regulations shows why he shouldn't be released before trial. It was another setback in his request for bail. Then there's the mental strain. Being isolated from loved ones, surrounded by uncertainty, and left with little control over your future can take a toll on anyone. For someone like Durk, who's built a career on persistence and strength, this is a serious challenge. While MDC does provide some mental health support, Services like therapy or group counseling are limited. Most people are left to manage their emotions and anxiety on their own, often without consistent access to professional help. Durk sounded hopeful during a recent phone call, telling a friend he was keeping his spirits up and focusing on returning to his family. "Just got off the phone with my brother," one post read. He's in good spirits, staying positive, and doing everything he can to get home to his kids. The Instagram caption followed up with, "We're not glorifying negativity. We're more than just guys from the streets. We're men with principles and honor." But as inspiring as that sounds, it raises the question, how much of it is genuine, and how much is just a front for the outside world? Because the reality is, no matter how strong a person is, life behind bars takes its toll. Facing a high-stakes trial, dealing with uncertainty every day, and wondering who might fold under pressure, that weighs heavily. Durk may sound composed in calls, but privately, he's facing challenges unlike anything he's seen before. And those challenges are only intensifying. His legal troubles have grown significantly since the first charges. What started as a single case has now turned into a full-scale RICO investigation. If found guilty, he could be looking at a lifetime sentence, no early release, no second chance. The government isn't just seeking punishment. They're working to build a case that paints Durk as the central figure in a long-standing organization. Beyond wiretaps, investigators have surveillance footage showing the movement of those involved, financial transactions, and testimony from confidential informants. That's where things get even more complicated, because rumors are circulating that someone from within OTF may have provided inside information. One name that continues to pop up is Jam, a longtime OTF member who reportedly served over a decade in prison. When he was released in 2022, whispers began that he might have started working with authorities. Some claim he provided key details linking Durk to the alleged operation. According to media figures like DJ Academics and the platform Trenches News, tensions may have started when Jam's partner reached out to Durk for help with legal costs and didn't get the response she hoped for. That may have led to resentment and, possibly, cooperation with investigators. While Jam has publicly denied being an informant, promising that once the paperwork comes out, the truth will be clear, the speculation hasn't stopped. Whether or not he played a role, the case against Durk continues to grow. Prosecutors are trying to prove that Durk wasn't just a musician rapping about tough experiences, but someone actively involved in organizing illegal actions behind the scenes. This case isn't just about Lil Durk. It's about the growing friction between hip-hop and the justice system. High-profile artists like Young Thug and Bobby Shmurda have faced similar battles. But what makes Durk's case stand out is that it's being handled at the federal level, where convictions are much harder to fight. If Durk is found guilty, it could mark the end of one of rap's most influential careers. Despite the legal cloud over him, Durk's name still resonates. Supporters flood social media with #FreeDurk posts. But the trial has only just begun, and the weight of the federal government is no small thing. Durk's future is on the line. His legal team was originally set to go to trial in January 2025, but the date was pushed back to October 14th, 2025. This delay shows just how complex the case is. Authorities have collected more than 230 gigabytes of data, 20,000 pages of documents, surveillance, and interviews. They're bringing their full resources. Still, some argue the case isn't as strong as it seems. A lot of the evidence is indirect. Flights booked with OTF credit cards, encrypted messages, and meetings Durk wasn't even present for. His legal team is expected to argue that many people had access to OTF resources, and that Durk specifically told others not to connect any activity to his name. What prosecutors see as suspicious could be explained as an effort to distance himself from anything illegal. Others point out that unless someone flips and directly names Durk, there may not be a clear enough link to convict him. Rumors are that DeAndre "D.D. Wilson is considering cooperation, but that remains to be seen. At this point, Durk's future could go one of several ways. He could be acquitted, strike a deal, be convicted, or face testimony from a former friend that seals his fate. If he walks, it'll be one of the biggest legal wins in hip-hop history. If not, it'll be a reminder of how quickly things can change when federal charges are involved. Even with everything going on, Durk hasn't let his career fade. Before his arrest, he was building momentum for his album Deep Thoughts, originally slated for October 2024. It was delayed, first to November and then again to March 2025. The project is said to be his most personal yet, exploring themes of growth, success, and loss. A leaked tracklist sparked controversy with rumored features, but Durk later confirmed it was fake. One track fans are still hoping to hear is Walk Hard, a rumored collaboration with Drake. Meanwhile, his longtime girlfriend India Royale has shown strong support. She was seen at court following his arrest, standing by him as the case unfolds. Some fans praised her loyalty, while others questioned how long it might last. But the couple, who've been through ups and downs since 2017, still seem to be united through this storm. Durk's story is far from over. For now, he's fighting for his freedom and for a second chance to reclaim his legacy. For more on this, tap into the videos currently showing on your screen.